All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What was that ruckus? What ruckus? I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Describe the ruckus, sir.
Does this mean we're not friends anymore? Not me. I'm in my prime. You're in your mind. Ain't it cool?
First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me. Blow. Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
What is up, everyone? DJ Nubis here with you on the Meltdown Radio podcast. Welcome. Definitely see some familiar faces in here. We got some good old Jake Hall here with us today, as well as this clown here. This is my co-host of the Ghouls of Midnight. So good of Tony to be here. And of course, anyone else watching, I appreciate you being here as well. We'll be going through some of the stuff that I've gotten within the recent couple weeks, merch-wise. Got some Blu-rays, some Metalhead stuff. Also got some cool stuff from Jake Hall, who's here joining us. So I'll be showing that. And then later, we're going to get into some trailer reactions for stuff that I just haven't been able to check out yet. And rather than spending 7 different episodes to try to do those, I'll just do them here with you guys. Maybe you haven't seen them, maybe you have, but either way, we're going to start with some of my Metalhead Unbox. Every month I pay for a subscription to the Metalhead box, and they send me, I have the cassette package, so they'll send me a cassette, usually a patch or a pin, usually some signed stuff, as well as like a shirt, usually my 4Xs or 3Xs that they send out to me. So I'm going to go through the Metalhead stuff first. One of the things they did send me, which is really cool, is it's just a little bit of a postcard with Atheist, and as a signature from Kelly Schaefer. So very cool. I'll be hanging this up somewhere along in the room here. I'm running out of room, apparently. Let's see. Also got a patch for Blasphemy. And so unfortunately, it doesn't really go with my black and white vest, so I need to work on my other one, which needs to be readjusted because I lost so much weight. So I need to kind of get that cut down, where it fits a little better. But I have so many cool patches on there. Oh, thanks for reposting the stream, homie. I appreciate that. How nice of you. Which name, Atheist or Blasphemy? Now the shirt I got was really fucking cool. So last month, I don't know if I showed you guys or not, but I got this patch of Blake Harrison from Pig Destroyer when he passed away last year. And, I was good friends with him, so was Neko and them. And so occasionally Metalhead, they always kind of pay tribute to certain artists that pass away. So I have a bunch of patches and stuff and stickers that they do for dedication and tributes to former fallen musicians and rock stars and stuff like that. And the most recent one we lost this year, of course, Ozzy Osbourne. So they ended up sending me this very cool Prince of Darkness, Rest in Power for Ozzy. Very happy about this. This is a cool shirt. May he rest in peace. Ozzy Osbourne was one of a kind for sure. Great singer, icon with Black Sabbath, of course. And so very happy about that. Now, as far as the cassette that I got, this was actually kind of cool. Now, this is a band called Graveside, and Sinful Accession is the name of the album. I didn't know anything about this band, and I really kind of thought it was like a newer band, but it turns out that this is actually from at least the materials from 1993. So this is early death metal out of Russia. And it's the only thing they ever put out. So this is even cooler that it's like a one-of-a-kind record. They never put anything else out. It was just this. So I had to go find, a piece of the music from this record so that you guys can check it out. And so I'm just going to play like about a minute's worth from their opening track, Voices of Devastation, from this record. So let's check it out. This is Graveside. Yeah, that's good. I like that. So I'm going to have to be sure to check out this entire thing. Like I said, I've never heard of this band, so it's kind of surprising that for a band that only had one record, especially during that early death metal period in the early 90s, that I've never heard anyone talk about them. So this is actually pretty cool. But they're out of Russia. Yeah, 1993 death metal. A lot of the bands back then, most of them came out of Sweden, Gothenburg, stuff like Entombed, Nocturnus, also Grave, just a lot of bands. They had all the U.S. bands like Obituary, Morbid Angel, so on. So this is a band I really didn't know much about. So that's kind of cool. Like they did. This is the cool thing about Metalhead Box is they do tend to send you stuff that's either limited or unique, like patches and stickers and stuff that we get, or even that shirt. You're not going to find that shirt anywhere else. It's the only thing they offer through their own company. So it's just very cool that they do that kind of shit. So, hats off to them for doing that and finding that cassette. I don't know if that's like a reprint. It could be because it seems kind of a new, but either way, that's awesome for that cassette. So I was talking with Mr. Jake Hall the other day, and he hit me up on Facebook, and he's like, hey, I've come across this store, and they have the Godzilla Rivals booklets, comic booklets. And I already have the Rulers of Earth. I got both volumes of the Rulers of Earth, which I really, really like. And so Jake's like, if you want, I'll pick these up for you because, I know I'd been talking about them. I know he has them. And I said, well, yeah, let me know, how much I owe you and you can, pick them up for me. He's like, don't worry about it. You can have, I'll get it for you. I was like, very cool. You were the man, as always. So let's go through. Let me try to put this in order a little bit. So there's 4 of them for Godzilla Rivals. And basically, if you're not familiar with this, and maybe Jake will correct me in the chat, but basically this takes like all your kaiju throughout the Godzilla universe and they kind of pit certain matchups. So even matchups we never saw on screen, you'll get through this. So you might look, what was one of them? think, does it tell you at the beginning like what matches are? But I don't know. One looks like it might be Godzilla, like Volume 1 here. So it looks like it's, Godzilla, Mothra, and Hedorah. So I don't know if this is like the only battle in here. And again, maybe Jake will correct me because he's a little more familiar with the comic books here than I am. It looks like we even have Ghidorah in here. So I don't know if I thought each book had like 2 or 3 matches. Is that true, Jake? Like, how does each book go? But you can see, man, like the art in here is fucking amazing, man. Like it's just really detailed, very cool. And it's actually thought out. So I'm going to be excited to kind of read through these to see like how it is. Cause these aren't things that are in movie form or anything like that. It's just, they just pitted them. Someone created them and who's the artist? Like Jake will have to try and tell me that too. Cause I don't know if it says, let's see, what does it say? Okay, so this one has Hedorah, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Batra. Each one of a fearsome fiend, every bit as destructive and unrelated as their sworn rival Godzilla. So this is cool. Like this is really cool. So that was round 1. They have at least 4 in each. Okay, that's what I thought. It was like 3 or 4 battles, right? So yeah. So round 2. And is this like cool here? So this one, well, I definitely see Titanosaurus. I see Rodan. I see Ibra, Biollante, of course, and Godzilla. Looks like Gigan's in there. That's actually 2004 Gigan, so that's kind of cool. So they're being specific to a particular era of, the kaiju that they're in. Round 3, we see King Caesar, Jet Jaguar, Godzilla. We also got Space Godzilla, Megalon, and Mothra as well in this, at least in terms of the artwork on the actual. Again, just like really detailed and cool artwork. It's gonna be a lot of fun going through this. I'd almost do like. I know I'm still kind of working through my kaiju spotlights, but I'd almost like to go and do a kaiju spotlight on each one of the battles for this. Like, I think you guys would be down for that. I'd even get Tony involved if he wanted to do that, because that sounds like it'd be fun. Because since we don't really have a movie of some of these fights, it'd be kind of cool to talk about them and how they played out and what we thought about those battles that they portrayed in this. Here's Volume 4. Of course, King Ghidorah, Godzilla on the cover, and we also got Hedorah, again, Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla in this one. But there could be a lot more that they just aren't showing. But this looks like so much fun. Oh, this is kind of funny though. Look, you see Godzilla here? That reminds me a little bit of the cartoon from Hanna-Barbera, like back in the day. So even though I don't think that's the intention, that particular type of artwork reminds me a lot of that during that era. Let's see. Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Oh, okay. So Rodan, Ibra, and Destroyer are going against Biollante, Mothra, and Titanosaurus. So am I assuming, and maybe I'm assuming, but Biollante, Mothra, and Titanosaurus are like the good side, and then Rodan, Ibra, and Destroyer playing the negative side, I'm assuming. All right. So, all right. Who did I get this through? Oh, I know what it was. Okay. All right. So now we're moving to the Blu-rays. So I was just on a whim. This is actually just something I purchased through Amazon because nothing special. I didn't go anywhere special for it, but when I picked this up, I reviewed this with Thrash Pondo on Vintage Cult Cinema a while back. Just needed to have it. It's a great film, made for TV movie called The Car. They made a sequel about 3 or 4 years ago. I didn't watch it because it sounded dumb as fuck and people weren't really giving it any good reviews, and so I avoided it like the plague. Now, Mr. Tony and I, we went on this run with Lindsay Crane for a while and did How to Kill Monsters as well as Eating Miss Campbell. And I'm a really big fan of Lindsay's now. And initially, when I went and picked up How to Kill Monsters or the Book of Monsters, because Tony had talked about it, he has it. So I picked up that, and I picked up Eating Miss Campbell, of course. And then I went to pick up How to Kill Monsters from 2023, and like Dark Rift didn't have it in stock. So I hit them up on, I think it's Instagram or TikTok, and I said, yo, can you tell me if you're going to reprint this, or can you tell me if anyone has an extra copy that I can buy? I was willing to pay whatever for it, right? Because I really wanted it. And at the time, they were like, yeah, we're getting ready to release another batch in August. So the minute it came out, in fact, Tony reminded me, which was really cool. And so I ended up getting it. So I'll be interested to check this one out, this version of it, because I don't know, it's probably got some bonus features in it. So we really enjoyed this film. We really liked it. It was pretty fun, for sure. All right. Let's see. Now, I went to Umbrella because they were having a Umbrella Entertainment. If you're familiar with them, they sell Blu-rays. It's kind of like Vinegar in some ways. They have some pretty fancy packaging and stuff that you wouldn't normally get. So I went and found a couple of Blu-rays that I wanted to get for a nice price. Oh, dude, yes. They probably still have some. I don't think they resold out of it, but you might as well go and get it, man. Might as well. But I went to Umbrella Entertainment because I've ordered stuff from them before. That's actually where I got my my fancy packaging for Possession 1981. I really enjoyed it, and they make a really good Blu-ray set or all that packaging and whatnot. So I picked up a couple. The first one I picked up, of course, is Intruder. I really like the packaging with this. If you've never seen it, it's a great 80s slasher film. A lot of fun. Tony and I might someday get to it on Ghouls at Midnight, just the kind of stuff that we review and talk about. Oh, yeah. The wife put the hammer down. I know how that goes. That's what's happened with my spiders. Like, she said no. No, we're in our match. Oh, okay. I got you now. Yeah, okay, so that's the 4 battles. Okay, I gotcha. So that looked, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Like, I think we should talk about that at some point with those monster battles. So the other one I picked up, and I think Tony is aware of this film. And I don't know if we're ever gonna really talk about it. Just if we do it, I think it's gonna be more just from a fun standpoint. It's not really about whether it's a good movie or not. But there was a film put out in the mid-70s, a French film, and it's called The Beast. And, oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Jordan? How are you, sir? Good to see you. Yeah, I've reached my limit now. Fortunately, within the last couple weeks, I had 2 of my tarantulas pass away. So my male Guatemalan tiger rump passed away. Now they have a shorter lifespan than females, but I expected him. I have some other males that may pass soon, but he passed away. And then I found out that my my pink toe, my female pink toe, I think she got stuck in our molt, and I couldn't see her because she was in like her cork. So one day I was just trying to pull it out and see how she's doing. I hadn't seen her in a while. She was all dried up and dead. Not much I can do. It looks like she got stuck in our molt, and that sometimes happens with tarantulas, so you have to be careful. So unfortunately, she passed away, and so I had 27. I'm down to 25. Still a lot of spiders, right? So let me see this. I can't remember. I think it might have been on Shudder when I watched it because they would sound like the only one that would have put that on there. And I remember just being thrown off because I did not expect what I was gonna see, like what I was seeing. I was like, what is separating this from like a porno movie? Like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, 25. 25. Now, do you guys want to know the funny story about the tarantulas? Like, if you're really ready for it, because I had a hard time telling Missy this initially. So, are you ready for a good funny story? Hmm. I have not seen the trailer for that. I'm going to do the trailer reaction today for that. So, I know that Kevin's going to be doing that franchise review for The Hills Has Eyes towards the end of the month, I think. So, I have to go back and watch those. It's been a while since I've seen it. I think I've only seen like the first one. I don't think I've ever seen anything beyond that. But back to my tarantula story. So the other day when I did my my little review for the feather-legged baboon, when I told you about the other tarantulas I got through my haul at Repticon. So I had this big plan, right? And so I had this mud room on the side. So I take towels and I block off the bottoms because you're dealing with small spiders sometimes when I'm taking them from one container to the next to their holding cell basically. And I've never had any issues. So I had this small spiderling Balfouri that I picked up. And he's the first one I'm doing. So I got my tripod, I've got my phone, I'm getting ready to record it all. I think this is gonna be a good video to record all my transferring my spiders to their new homes. And so the first one I'm starting with is my Balfouri, which is an old world spider. So you don't want to get bit or anything by it. Now, granted, it's small. It's not going to do any harm at this size. And really, chances are if it gets away, either an animal is going to get it or another spider. Like a house spider could kill a tarantula if it gets in its web. Like, that's the funny thing about spiders in general, is that a small tarantula could in fact die from another house spider bite if it gets caught in a web. I'm bouncing back and forth between you live and my flock. I'll be right back. Okay. So I start with the Balfouri. It's a small spiderling. And so I start to get it out and I'm trying to get it into its new container, but it's so fast that it ran across my little bucket or whatever I was using to prop it up so I can do it at an angle. And it ran off and I couldn't find it. I don't know where it went. I still have not found it to this day. I think it's probably dead somewhere because like in the mudroom, it's a lot cooler and they need to be around 75 to 85 to feel comfortable. Like they can live in 60-degree weather, but it's not very good for them to molt or anything. But either way, there isn't much food in there. And I don't even know where the fucker would be at this stage because they are terrestrial. So they'll be in the ground or in a corner or whatever. So it got away. I lost it. So I ordered another one. I ordered a 3-inch one, which was a much larger one, to replace it. But I didn't tell Missy right away. So she talks to me the other day. She goes, so you have 2 Balfouris because these are the spiders that can live as a commune. They can be together. You can have 30 or more Balfouris and they will live cohesively with no problems. Like they can get along. They're not like other spiders where they might kill each other at any whim. And so she's like, so you got 2 Balfouris? I said, well, no, technically 1. And I told her the story and she's like, wait a minute, there's a Balfouri old world running around the house. I said, technically it could be, but chances are it's not. It's probably dead. it probably ran into some problem because in that back room where the air conditioning is, the unit, there's a lot of like small spider webs and stuff. So I don't think, because that's the only place it could have got. There was nowhere else it could have got except for that little room. So I told her, I said, well, look, the bright side is it's too small to do any damage to anybody. But secondly, if it gets older and grows, at least I'll find it and then we can capture it and then put it in with the other one. But it was just funny to me because like I was trying to hide it from her. I was going to tell her the other day, I said, I have something I have to tell you. She goes, well, what is it? And she had this serious look on her face. And I said, I like your Jeep. And so I changed the subject entirely from what I was going to do with her. And then I came clean the other day about it. All right. But enough of that. So I have one more Blu-ray that I got, and I have not seen this. So I don't even know if it's good or bad. Maybe I'll force Tony and I to watch it for Ghouls of Midnight because it's kind of like a spacey sci-fi horror film, I think. It's a film called Divinity. And who is this directed by? Eddie Alcazar. And I never even heard of it. I think it came out in 2022 or 23. But it's got very cool packaging. I really like this too. And this came from Vinegar Syndrome. Now, the only reason why I really picked this up, and this is just kind of a side story, but if you don't know who this young lady is, this is Emily Willis, and she was an adult film star. And now, very cute, obviously, but she apparently is in this film. And, you know, granted, there might be some simulated sex in here with her. I don't know. But this isn't like a straight porn. This is actual horror film. But the story with her is, and the reason why I even like started like researching her a little bit was she had a drug issue. She was in the porn industry, obviously, very popular girl in the porn industry. Had a drug issue. She went to rehab, but then there was a relapse, and she fell into a coma for a little bit, and she came out of it, but now she's not really the same. Like she has like parts of her body's paralyzed or something. So obviously, when she was in the coma, she never recovered fully from it. So unfortunately for her, her life has went for the worse. Like, you know, that's just that's proof that drugs are bad for you no matter what, right? You just don't do it. I think her parents are trying to sue the rehab place because they thought maybe they had some responsibility there. Don't know. But reading up on this, it sounded like a very cool film. Like I'm really interested in it, regardless of Emily's situation. But it sounds kind of cool. So I think maybe Tony and I will kind of like sit down and review that at some point, which would be kind of neat because it's some film I haven't seen either. So, and he and I have been trying to find films that we haven't seen this year, and we've got a pretty good list going so far. We've seen a lot of stuff that we haven't seen prior, and then we've watched stuff that we have seen, so on and so on. But let's get into some trailer reactions because I have about 6 or 7 of them that I want to do that I thought were interesting. Can't tell you if they're going to be good or not. That's kind of how this works, but maybe some of you guys have seen some that I haven't before. Who knows? But this first one is called The Exit 8, and it's supposed to be coming out this year. It's directed by Genki Kawamura and stars Kazunari Namanamiya, Yamato Kochi, and Naru Asananuma. The plot is a man gets lost in an underground passage. He follows the guide through the passage, but one after another, strange things happen to him. And is this space real or an illusion? Will the man be able to escape the passage? A lot of passages going on in this. So let's go ahead and check out the trailer for Exit 8.
One night.
Umbrella.
異変を見逃さないこと。異変を見つけたらすぐに引き返すこと。
こっちじゃない。
異変が見つからなかったら引き返さないこと。8番出口から外に出ること。
大丈夫。おじさん。大丈夫。おじさん。おじさん。大丈夫。大丈夫。おじさん。おじさん。おじさん。大丈夫。おじさん。おじさん。
おじさん。おじさん。
大丈夫。
どうしよう。
異変？
地獄？
ここから出たい。やり直しだ。異変。どうする？なんだよ。
どうする？
あれは
私もう死んでる。
もう人間じゃない。
待ってる。
Okay, wait a minute. So you're saying this is based off a game? I've never even heard of it. At first, though, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, it seems like it's quite boring because they're just showing him walking past some people and then that's about it. But obviously, toward the end, it starts getting a little more crazy. So, okay, so it's based off a game. What is this? Is this Japanese? I don't know. What? Looks like it might be Korean. Says it's a psychological horror thriller, so that makes sense. It does definitely fall into that place for sure. Yeah, okay. Yes, I think it is Korean. It's an indie game, yeah. Okay. So it might turn out pretty good in terms of, because, you know, you have a harder time with video game movies in Hollywood than you do like outside of the US. Usually outside the US, they do a little bit more experimenting and kind of have a little bit more fun with it. In terms of when they translate games to movies and stuff. Okay, so next up, and I've said this before, some of these, like whenever I search these information on IMDb, they'll say these movies are older than they are, but I think it's new for us in America because they still claim it's like a 2025 movie, but then they say it's originally released in 2020 or 2024 or whatever, but that's because it might be either delayed or because it's been released outside the US or something. So this one is called The Balconettes. It's a dark comedy, splatter horror, at least the way to describe it. Directed by Inomi Merlant and stars Suhila Yukub, Sanda Kodrenu, and Naomi Merlant, who is the director, so she's also acting in it. And the plot is 3 women in a Marseille apartment get stuck in a heat wave. They find themselves trapped in a terrifying affair and longing for freedom. Okay, so this looks like it may be French. And don't see anybody else I would be familiar with. It definitely looks French. So The Balconettes. So let's check it out. Hall, not room. Oh, okay, from the last one. So if you're wrong, the number starts over again. Okay. All right. So the game sounds very cool. So like, I don't know like how the movie's going to be, but yeah, the game sounds like something to make me bang my head to, or I'm like, no, the wrong door. But let's check out The Balconettes and see what this shit's all about.
Élise, respire avec moi. C'est comme une vague. Kobe, il y a tous les voisins qui sont en train de te regarder.
C'est des ça, les gars, hein. Wouh. On peut être vraiment nous-mêmes qu'entre nous, non?
Tous les jours, il est à sa fenêtre.
Sublime.
Mystérieux.
Il a envoyé un message.
N'est pas un verre à la maison et...
Non. Ah non.
Si.
Ah, les filles, entrez.
Mais qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
C'est de ma faute. On aurait dû rester, on n'aurait pas dû le laisser.
C'est pas ta faute. C'est de la légitime défense. Je peux pas respirer.
Ils sont fiers de toi maintenant.
All right. Interesting. So yeah, there's no subtitles, so I really don't know what was being said. I'll have to go back later and kind of see if I can find one with subtitles just to look at and see what they're saying in the dialogue. You know, it doesn't really look bad. Like it is weird because they go from like the comedy standpoint to like some very gory drama or trauma-esque type situations, but the multi-haired girl, like she clearly is in the middle of whatever is going on. Like with the guy, it looks like the guy's body's dead or he's hanging or something. But there's also looked like a moment where the camera's shooting down and it looks like she's getting off while he's bleeding on her or something. So that's kind of hot. You know? I know it's morbid, right? But yeah, I don't like obviously this. I don't think this is gonna come to any theaters around us. This is a French film, so but I'd check this out probably. I wouldn't go out and see it, but I would check it out to see what it, like how it plays out. Looks kind of fun, a little silly, but certainly not a bad thing at all. All right, this one, this next one, obviously was initially saying that it was released in 2020, but again, when I look it up now, it's telling me it's this year. So clearly, it's not from 2020, but you know, in order to keep IMDb, which doesn't update itself, unfortunately. So maybe the concept of this film was back then. So I don't know. Maybe they had a short, because sometimes directors start with shorts and then they make the actual movie to expand on it. So this movie is called Kill Giggles, and it's directed by Jason Bertrand. Stars Vernon Wells. We know who he is. Yes, we do. If you ever seen Road Warrior, or even Commando, you would know Vernon Wells very well. No pun intended. We have Felissa Rose. Mr. Tony Aded's actually met her. She's a horror icon, without a doubt. Also, Judith O'Dea. Let me see if there's anybody else I know in this. Just for shits and giggles. Nope, no one else that I can recognize name-wise. But I guess Vernon plays Giggles, so this will be fun. So let me give you a rundown of this plot. Tommy Dos Santos wasn't born a psychopath, nor was he made into a sociopath. He was something entirely new, and he is walking in his own path, a path that will run red with blood of the foulest, most fiendishly frightening creatures ever conceived by man. No longer do they have the starring role in our nightmares. It is now the clowns who are the prey, running for their lives from a killer who won't stop until every single one of them is dead. As Tommy's body count rises, he finds himself getting closer and closer to what he thought was a ghost, the once great clown king known as Giggles, and wonders if laughter can't die, how about giggles? So this is an interesting concept. So he's got a problem with clowns. This is something that Tony has no problems with. He loves clowns. And so Vernon's character is the one going around killing every clown possible to get to this clown. So let's check out Kill Giggles. It's coming out this year.
Tommy, this is really good. I definitely think your writing is getting much stronger. And I love how the hero killer now has a nose like a trophy.
I spent a lot of time plotting out all the little details. I've been feeling more inspired. The therapy is helping, Doc. As long as there have been clowns in this world, there have been people who hate them. A monster in makeup at best. And it's okay to kill monsters.
Are you feeling a little bit more mad lately, Tommy?
Tommy has coulrophobia.
The fear and hatred of clowns. Lots of people have it. I just have a really bad case of it.
I don't want to just kill a clown or two.
I'm going to kill every single one of them.
I'm saying he's a serial killer. And I have proof.
It gets worse.
His face is melted off. How could it get any worse?
My father, he was a clown. His name was Giggles. They called him the Clown King.
You know who I am.
I know what you are. A monster shaped like a man.
Laugh, clown. Laugh, clown. Come on, man. You don't have to do this.
Not so funny now, are you?
Okay, that's awesome. Cool. So I do have to correct myself. I did mention, I said in wrongly that Vernon Blade, the guy killing clowns, he's actually the lead clown Giggles. So Tommy, the character, is out there trying to kill to get to him. So Vernon's a perfect choice for, a lead bad guy. You know what would have been funny about this, though? If they had done it, was to hire the guys from ICP, Insane Clown Posse, to be in here and have him kill them just because they actually impersonate clowns. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how fucking funny would that be that indirectly they get, like, knocked off because he's killing all these clowns and shit? I think that would be funny. Do I know Ellie Church from anywhere? How would I know her name? She sounds familiar. The name sounds familiar. I just don't know exactly from where. Let me see. Oh, okay. So is she like a new actress, like someone you kind of talked to on Facebook or something? Because Marshmallow turned out to be very good. I like that film. That was a good film. Marshmallow. All right. Well, Tony's going to respond to that, I'm assuming. So the next trailer up. Clearly, I love sharks. I love watching Shark Week and had my own experiences with sharks and stuff like that. Okay. So there's a movie out there called Beast of War. Comes out this year. Directed by Kia Roach Turner, stars Mark Cole Smith, Joe Nakervis, and Sam Delick. Plot is a group of young soldiers fresh out of boot camp find themselves stranded on a raft in the middle of the ocean after their ship is sunk by an enemy and must battle for their lives against a giant, hungry great white shark. Okay, so it's another Jaws revision in some way. Okay. Yeah, I have to try to check out her stuff. The name sounds familiar, though. I've probably seen her in something. It just sounds, the name is one that sticks in your head. Let me see if there's anybody else in this that I might. No, I don't think so. She's hot. Okay. So let's go and check out the trailer for Beast of War. Yeah. I mean, there's about a gazillion fucking shark movies that have them in the same scenario from different reasons. So it's like nothing new at this point. But you know, who knows? Maybe it's going to be cool. Let's. The name is cool. So Beast of War. So they're trying to make it all pumped up. But let's give it a whirl.
Pretty soon, you boys will be sailing into war. And in that place, there's only you and your mates.
We can't be the only ones left. Nearly 200 men gone on that bloody ship.
Every hour we drift further away from where they'll be looking.
What the hell was that?
Ding ding.
Never seen a shark like that before. There's dozens of dead bodies out there for it to munch on. He's gonna die. Shut up, this.
On the battlefield, there's only you and your mates. All you've got are your mates.
She'll be back.
Well, I'll be honest, like, clearly from if you've seen the movie poster and stuff, you can tell how fake the shark is. And you can see a couple times in the clip where they kind of show the head of the shark. However, one thing I did actually appreciate about this is a lot of the kills are at night. And so you can play with shadows to kind of hide how cheesy the shark might look. And if they continue to do that, and not so much show a lot of the shark, you'll probably get away with a pretty good shark movie. And there's like a couple of moments, like the one dude where his body's just kind of falling back in the water. Like that's very eerie looking, especially with the fires in the background and stuff. And then the guy's hand like slowly going down. Like that's really nice effects because you don't have to show a lot of the shark to get the point across. And so I don't know how much is going to play out in this, but like certainly when you're looking for a decent shark movie, this one could be one that's up on that list. The other good news, I'm gonna have to ask Samurai about this, is the company at the beginning, Wells or whatever it is, that's either the studio or whatever. I know Samurai talks to them about like pre-screenings and stuff, so I'm gonna see if I can get Samurai to let me get a hold of that film so I can check it out. Because if they have pre-screens for that, I want in to check that out. Hey, Stavrio, what are you doing, buddy? Doing good, my friend. I hope you've been doing well. Good to see you as always, my good friend. All right, where are we now? We are with a movie called Kiss of the Spider-Woman. It's going to come out. I have no idea if it's horror or not. Let me double check here. Actually, no, this is more political drama. And it's a little bit of musical and drama. So now, granted, the poster looked kind of cool. So that's kind of like why I chose it. But this isn't usually up my alley, but we'll see anyway. We'll just give it a shot and see how it is. It's directed by Bill Condon. Stars Diego Luna Tonetia and Jennifer Lopez. You know who she is, I'm sure. Plot is Valentine, a political prisoner, shares a cell with Molina, convicted for public indecency. An unlikely bond forms as Molina recounts a Hollywood musical plot starring Ingrid Luna. Is there anybody else I know in this? Ooh, she is cute, but I Don't know anyone else in this. Yeah, so who is this? I gotta go sidebar here. Josefina Scaglione. Oof. Smoking. Okay. Enough of that. So let's check out Kiss of the Spider Woman.
It's in glorious Technicolor.
Wait, you throw us right in. We know nothing about the story or the characters.
Don't you like to dream? At least a little?
When you feel you've gone to hell in a handbasket.
When I first went to prison, I thought my life was over.
And the world in which you dwell.
Oh shit.
It was just
Missy's gonna love this.
I can't be sure.
Why don't we go to the movies?
One of them I'll never forget.
Sooner or later, you're certain to meet.
Kiss of the Spider Woman. It starred the great La Luna. No matter how hard Hollywood tried to make her seem all-American,
Cheers.
she never stopped being Latin.
I'm sorry to break the news. Nobody sings in real life.
Well, maybe they should.
The only reason I'm still alive is because I have information they want. You were in danger the minute you met me.
No idea.
Please, take me away. How much more of this can you endure? There's so much that's beautiful. Would you like to see it?
That's a bold statement.
You saw the warden this morning? Are you an informer?
Don't move! No!
Okay, so yeah, not really my style, but I know because Neko loves Chicago and musicals in general, like Rocky Horror and all that. So she probably would dig the shit out of that. That's more up her alley than mine. Back to Savvy. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm doing fine. Especially. Oh, okay. So you didn't fall overboard. That's a good thing. Neko and I just watched a doc about that girl that disappeared years ago, falling off, or she didn't fall off, but they thought she fell off a cruise ship and went missing. But yeah, good thing that didn't happen. Yeah, it looks like it has some nice cinematography, obviously, because musicals do that pretty well. But story-wise, it doesn't really intrigue me all that much. All right. Let's see what we got here. Next one up from Dark Skies. Says a doc and a horror. It's called Chain Reactions. Directed by Alexandre Philippe. Stars Patton Oswalt, Takashi Miike, maybe, Alexandra Heller Nichols. And let me see if anybody else is in here that I know. Stephen King is playing himself in this. Plot is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's impact on 5 artists. So this is a doc about its impact on 5 people, directors, actors, whatever. Yeah, that was kind of my point too. Like, so I had to like force Neko to watch it to see what she thinks about that. That's a bold claim when you talk about musicals, especially since I've never heard of it. So like, she may have heard of it before, but not me. She's very she has like a dance and stage background, so she's very big into musicals. So I'll see how she feels about that bold statement there. As for Chain Reactions, it's a doc, of course, about the Chainsaw Massacre's impact on the artists in question. So there's 5 people: Stephen King, Alexandra Nicholas, Patton Oswalt, Takashi Miike, and Karen Kusama. So let's see. This will be interesting. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like the second one the best, of course. I know that Anthony does too. We did a franchise on this with Kevin Lambert, 2 parts, and it was pretty interesting, pretty cool. So I've also found some good discoveries throughout that franchise, which was nice too. So let's see what this doc has to say.
My first viewing of Texas Chainsaw Massacre happened on my friend's ancient early 80s VCR. The title sounds like you're chewing on flesh. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre was always presented to me as a test. Are you hardcore enough? And that was part of the danger and excitement, the feeling that you were watching something that you weren't meant to see.
I admire this movie so much. It's got a classic primal horror movie feel to it.
Every frame has something unnerving in it. Like even a long shot of the highway, then there's a dead armadillo.
In some ways, I see a book like Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy and Texas Chainsaw Massacre as fraternal twins. The slaughterhouse, the bolt gun.
I think of that moment in the van where the hitchhiker shows them the photographs of the meat. Very heavily reminiscent, I think, of a Francis Bacon. And there's Leatherface vibes there for me.
Texas Chainsaw expands my notion of what art even is.
There's one shot in Nosferatu that totally mirrors the shot in Texas when she gets up off the swing and walks into the house. She's literally walking into a slaughterhouse. She doesn't know that, but we do.
映画監督としてのなんかシンパシーっていうか近いところ、あの時に少年15歳の時に悪魔の生贄に出会わなければ、確実に自分の人生っていうのは違っていただろうし、おそらく映画監督にもなっていないだろうしっていうお手本のようなそういう存在で。
Okay. I'll probably check that out for sure. I am very curious though, because for some reason the name Takashi Miike sounds very familiar. Of course. So the guy that directed 13 Assassins, Ichi the Killer, and Audition is in this. So I knew I'd recognize the name. Very good director, for sure. Those films are pretty good. All right. So I'm down to one trailer left here. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I have any more. Nope, we're good. Very good. Of course, this is the one featuring a dog. So it's called Good Boy, directed by Ben Leonberg, stars Larry Fessenden. Almost went Fassender. Ariel Friedman and Indy. And is there anybody else? I think Max is the name of the dog. No, Indy is the name of the dog. My apologies. Indy is the dog. It's a comedy horror thriller, and the plot is a loyal dog moves to a rural family home with his owner Todd, only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities threaten his human companion, the brave pup must fight to protect the one he loves most. So basically, it's kind of like Thor of Bad Moon, only we don't have werewolves, we have ghosts. So let's check this out. I have no idea if it's going to be good or bad. Hopefully nothing bad happens to the dog because I don't want to watch this if it does. I'm an animal lover, so I don't like bad things happening to good animals. So we'll be reviewing this on Ghouls for sure. Sure? Absolutely. So here goes Good Boy. Good Boy. Oh, Shudder. That's good. Oh. Really? That dog.
I guess I'm next. I should never have come here.
Yeah, we definitely are right if that dog dies. No doubt about it. Looks good. And it's coming to Shudder, so that's a good thing too, because we actually have Shudder. So, but if it's coming to the theaters in October, it may just not end up coming to Shudder until late October, early November. If that, it might even go further than that. So, but this looks like I might actually go and see it in the theaters. Like if it does, I think I will actually go check this out. If we get John Wick. Yeah. John, hey, look, we got a problem, man. Somebody killed another dog. Can you come assist us with this? It looks good though. The only thing I would say might be a problem, and until I've seen it, I can't really state that, but it looks like you kind of see some of the ghosts like in real form. And like, even though the first image where like in the dark it goes and it hits its head on the door, like that's creepy. But then you see other, like the guy bleeding or whatever. I don't know if you really need that, because again, it might be work. It might work. It might be okay. But at the same time, I'm going to wonder if seeing too much of the ghostly apparition might be a little bit too corny. But I guess in some ways, if the dog is going to be combative with a spirit, that it's got to have something to attack. So maybe that's why they're kind of doing it that way, if just off my first impressions. Okay, cool. Very cool. And speaking of which, things to come this week, of course. Tomorrow, Tony and I will be recording our episodes for Ghouls at Midnight. And hey, Alvin, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. But Tony and I, every week we alternate picks of films that it could be past, present, or future that we'll sit down and review. And we've had a pretty big list. We've had a big list this year so far, and we've come. We decide at the end of the year we'll take the 10 best that we haven't seen, whether each of us or together haven't seen. We're going to place our top 10 films that we saw this year. It doesn't have to be from this year alone. It could be from any year that it's first time discovery for us. Now tomorrow, my pick this week is a film called Invoking Yell. And it's basically about a trio of young girls who are into black metal. A couple of them are in a black metal band. And they end up conjuring something they don't want to. Also, a lot of other stuff going on. Obviously, I'm going to save all my comments for the review itself, but Tony is picked as a film from 1997 called Sphere with Samuel L. Jackson, Sharon Stone, and Dustin Hoffman. I actually saw that in the theaters when it got released, so it was very interesting going back and watching it again this time around. So that's what we'll be discussing this week on Ghouls at Midnight. Thursday, I haven't heard back from my friend Jason. If you saw my interview with Jason from Piscectomy, he and I also did our top 10 Devin Townsend albums earlier this month. We're going to sit down, whether Thursday or another day, and we're going to give our top 10 thrash metal records. So I'm going to sit down with him and do that. And then, of course, Saturday with Olven, who's now in the chat with us, he has a podcast or a series on his channel called The Silver Screen Savants. And he and I have been doing that for a little while, co-hosting that with him, where each week we alternate picks of movies that we're going to watch. We've kind of been on a horror kick lately, which is kind of like a new part of the series itself. So we have the regular Silver Screen, then we have like a horror edition that we're doing on his channel. So his pick this week will be 2004's Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale. So be looking for that. As far as like anything beyond that, I haven't really set my schedule yet, but I do have my plans for Ghoul at Midnight, but I'll let everyone know when I go to do my review this week. Let's see. Yeah. That's probably one of my gripes, but not overly huge deal, to be honest, but it's been a weird week in terms of movies. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So how you wouldn't really have a movie if all the dog does is bark. It just wouldn't solve the problem. So I guess they're going to have to figure a way for it to actually fight something. But I don't know how they're going to do that with the plot. But we'll see, how that plays out. But outside of that, man, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the unboxings. Caught a lot of cool shit. Again, thanks to Jake Hall for the Godzilla stuff. Very cool stuff. I'm going to have to go through and start looking through that and reading through those battles. Cool Blu-rays. Some of those. I have some other Blu-rays I've got that, I'll probably go do with Tony as well, because some of the movies I ordered in my last batch I have not seen before. So I want to be able to check them out. And give them a whirl. So certainly, thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. But yeah, thanks, guys. Elvin, Severo, Tony, Anthony, Jake, for stopping in, hanging out, and talking a little bit, checking out some trailers. Sometimes it's better to kind of do all my merch stuff kind of like this in one big swoop. So I don't know when the next time I'm going to have stuff. But as Tony said, his wife has kind of put the canoe on his ordering, and that's pretty much what's happening to me too. Yeah, thanks, Sab, man. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on Ghouls. Peace out.